Hi, welcome to Unleash the O. Today, let's explore the flip side of the coin in the paradox of unleashing. You need to get out of your own way. While you may have everything inside you to succeed, there's a powerful realization that many of us come to. We are often the biggest obstacle standing in our own way. We are the ones who create the barriers, the resistance, and the fear that hold us back. We may be in our own way in subtle, sometimes even unconscious ways. Our thoughts, our fears, our beliefs, all of these can form invisible walls that prevent us from moving forward. But recognizing this is really the first step to breakthrough. So to be in your own way means that the barriers you face are really self-created. They exist not in the external world, but in your own thoughts, fears, and self-doubt. Sometimes the very thing we desire most are held just out of reach by our own resistance. You may desire success, but find yourself procrastinating. You may want to pursue a new venture, but you hesitate because you feel failure. You may dream of greater happiness, but you stay stuck in old patterns and beliefs. All of this is really, in itself, self-sabotage, and often it is unconscious. But once you recognize this, you can begin to take conscious action to remove these self-imposed barriers. Eckhart Tolle, in his book, The Power of Now, teaches us that the present moment is where true transformation occurs. He explains how the mind often creates mental barriers and distractions that prevent us from having and living fully in the present. Tolle's teaching encourages us to move past mind's resistance and find peace and clarity by being present. There are different ways that we get in our own way. And fear is one of the most common ways that happens. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, and fear of not being good enough often keep us stuck. These fears don't come from the outside world. They come from within. They're the inner voices that say, what if I'm not good enough? Or what if people laugh at me? These voices are self-limiting beliefs. Another major way people get in their own way is through, as we spoke about before, perfectionism. You might think you have to have everything figured out before you act. You may wait for the perfect moment to start. But perfectionism is a trap. It delays action, it stops progress, keeps you from learning, and keeps you stuck in analysis paralysis. This resonates with Stephen Pressfield's concept of resistance in The War of Art. Pressfield talks about how fear, procrastination, and self-doubt are manifestations of a force that keeps us from doing our most important work. Recognizing this resistance is the first step in overcoming it. It may show up in your own life. For example, maybe I should watch a little more TV and then I'll get to my work. Or maybe I'll do that a little later. Or it's really too much and I need to make a better plan. So take a moment now and reflect on a recent situation where you hesitated to take action. What was the fear or doubt that held you back? Was it fear of failure? Fear of judgment? What would have happened if you'd taken action anyway? What excuse did you make up for the reason you were not taking action or seemingly just delaying? Pause here and reflect. Notice how often fear and doubt show up in your life. Maybe it's under a guise of something else. You name it something else, like I'm too busy, or I need to watch this show, or some other reason. What underlying is really about fear and doubt. Recognizing this is the first step to moving past them and forward. To move forward, you need to confront your fears head on. You need to identify them. Fear doesn't go away. It becomes something you learn to walk with. It becomes a signal that you are growing and stepping outside your comfort zone. Action is the antidote to fear. It's the magic. The more you take action, the more you build confidence, and the more you begin to break through the walls you've built for yourself. It is a virtuous cycle. Start small, but start now. Think of Thomas Edison. He faced countless failures and was often told that his inventions were impossible. But he kept going. He didn't let fear of failure stop him. He said, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. This is a great example of reframing, which we discussed before. Edison's story shows us that failure is part of the process, and that it's often our resistance to failure that keeps us stuck. The biggest obstacle in our lives is often ourselves. It's not the world, not other people. It's the internal beliefs, fears, and doubts that you allow to control you. The good news is that once you recognize this, you can begin to make different choices. You have the power to get out of your own way and step into your full potential. So starting now, recognize when you're in your own way and choose to act despite the fear. Trust yourself, reframe, and know that you are capable of more than you think. You are the way, but you also need to get out of your own way to fully embrace it. This is the paradox of unleashing. Thank you.